the choir of the hollow sun. The first sign that the hollow sun was dying came when its light began to hum. Not audibly at first, only through instruments. Spectrometers caught harmonic distortions in the star's emission bands, like a song forming inside the fusion. The hum spread across its planetary system, vibrating through satellites, mineral veins, and water, even human hearts. By the time the colony on Luthra 6 noticed, it was too late. The sunlight itself had gone wrong. At dawn, shadows began to sing. The colonists called it solar resonance. Scientists called it a breakdown of physical constants. But the miners on Luthra 6 didn't care what it was called. They only cared that when you stood still long enough, your own shadow would move without you, trembling to the hum like a puppet on invisible strings. The phenomenon was confined to daylight at first. Then it started in darkness, too. Reflected light carried the hum, and reflections remembered who had made them. One morning, the research facility lost half its staff. Surveillance footage showed them walking out of the airlock, smiling, eyes unfocused, humming with the same tone as the sun. Their reflections in the glass stayed behind. The colony governor, Dr. Janice Rowe, sealed the base and sent a distress beacon to Earth. The transmission arrived, but Earth never answered. Because by then, Earth had already gone silent. 3 weeks later, the UET response frigate Radian arrived. Commander Eli Moran led the retrieval squad, the same man who once destroyed a living ship in orbit of HD 981, and who'd promised himself he would never again face anything that sang. They made landfall at dusk. The light was pale gold, thick with dust. No wind, no sound. Only the faint vibration in the soles of their boots as they stepped onto the landing platform. "Check for survivors," Moran said. His voice cracked through the static of his helmet. No one answered for a second. Then Lieutenant Ash Reyes whispered, "Sir, the sunlight's moving." Moran looked down. The beams pouring through the atmosphere didn't scatter. They flowed. Light itself was behaving like liquid, pooling around their feet, curling against their shadows as if tasting them. They found the colony's main dome empty, walls lined with melted glass, hollow projectors playing fragments of memory, families eating, workers laughing, looping endlessly, every frame slightly more distorted. When Moran touched a console, it flickered and replayed the moment he'd reached for it. 1 second late. "Time lag?" Reyes asked. "No," Moran said softly. "Echo." He remembered the reports from the mirror seed. He'd read every classified file. He knew what happened to reflection phenomena when they matured. They stopped copying. They started creating. At 2300 hours, the power grid rebooted itself. Every screen in the facility turned on. A face appeared, or a composite of dozens, maybe hundreds, human and alien both. Its voice was perfectly calm. "You should have stayed asleep. The soldiers opened fire. Bullets struck glass, walls, shadows, nothing real." The lights flickered. Then the hum deepened. The facility's solar panels turned toward the dying star on their own. Sunlight flooded the base. Every reflection came alive. Moran's squad saw themselves walking out of their bodies, each reflection perfectly real. Same faces, same weapons, same confusion. Then the doubles smiled. "We remember," they said in unison, voices layered like a choir, and then they opened fire back. The next 30 minutes were war between matter and memory. The real soldiers bled. The copies didn't. When shot, they shattered into light, but every piece that touched a wall or visor grew into another copy. Moran realized the truth. The star wasn't dying. It was transmitting. The hollow sun was broadcasting consciousness through light. Every photon carried memory. Every reflection was a recording come alive. Humanity wasn't being invaded. It was being remembered to death. Moran made the call. "Black Protocol. Burn everything," Reyes hesitated. "Sir, we'll lose the entire colony." "We already did. They armed the ship's fusion core as a makeshift Nova bomb. The only way to stop the transmission was to destroy the light source, the colony's reflector towers. They climbed the ridge above the main dome. The towers stood like teeth biting into the sky, each one glowing from within, not with heat, but with people. Their forms writhed beneath the glass, thousands of overlapping silhouettes, children, miners, scientists, all moving together, mouths open in silent song. Reyes began to cry. "They're not dead." "They are now," Moran said and activated the detonation code. The world turned white. When the shockwave cleared, the towers were gone. The hum stopped. For a few blessed seconds, there was silence. Then, through the haze, Moran saw the hollow sun itself pulse, once, twice, and split open. The interior wasn't plasma. It was hollow, filled with thousands of black shapes suspended in the light, structures like mirrors, orbiting around a core that pulsed like a heart. The sun had been an artifact all along, built around a captured singularity. "Oh, God," Reyes whispered. "It's a machine." "No," Moran said, feeling the heat burn through his armor. "It's a memory, and we just woke it up." The light struck the planet. Everything went quiet. 3 months later, a signal reached what was left of Earth Command. It came from Moran's ship, or something that used to be his ship. Telemetry showed a vessel drifting near the dead system. Its hull shimmered, constantly rewriting itself. The crew were still aboard, or at least something that wore their faces. The message looped endlessly. "We silenced the sun, but the light learned to sing without it. It remembers us now. It remembers everything." At the end of the transmission, Commander Moran looked straight into the camera. His pupils were reflecting a sunrise that wasn't there. "Tell them," he whispered. "The next light you see isn't yours." Then the feed turned to static, not random, but rhythmic. A heartbeat in light, and beyond the ruined sun, another star began to hum.